Hi guys, it's Nick. I've taken a dip into the Vugraph archives and I found a match that I believe I watched when it was on, and if I remember right it was a bit of a cracker. It was the final of the European Winter Games in 2020 that was played between the American Gupta team and the European Zimmerman team. The final went over 3 times 20 boards. The first 20 boards ended up with only a 1 imp lead for one of the teams. We're going to look at a couple of hands from the second set. We're going to jump in at board 2, where we have for Zimmerman, we have Pierre Zimmerman East and Frank Milton West playing against Jeff Mextroff and Zia. Zimmerman has dealt, he's at green and he's got a 6-card club suit, and that's enough to open the bidding these days. So he starts with 3 clubs. Zia's got a nice shape, a bit of a hard suit, but not that much of a hand, and he is vulnerable against knots. But he decides to overcall 3 hearts. Frank Milton has very reasonable 3-no trump bid, which he might make very often with 6 or 7 club tricks. He's got a heart stop and an ace, and it could possibly be a double game swing hand where he makes 3-no trumps and the opponents still have the highest contract in 4 hearts or 4 spades. Regardless of which, it looks like a good shot. Now this comes to Jeff Mextroff in the north seat, who's got a little something, and he has a partner who has overcalled vulnerable on the free level. So is he going to do something? Yeah, he comes up with a double. This double, of course, is neither pure penalties or pure takeout. He has to do something in the cramped auction, and double would cater for many hands. They can beat 3-no trumps. If Zia passes, they can take 2 hearts and ace king queen of diamonds. But Zia takes the safe option here of taking it out to his other 5-card suit. So he bids 4 diamonds, and at that ends the auction. Let's look at the play in 4 diamonds. Zimmerman just signaling here he's got all the club pips. And Frank, of course, is happy to force a trump from declare since he's got 4 trumps himself. Zia's got to go somewhere for tricks, so he starts his spade suit. Pierre Zimmerman goes back to the clubs. Zia now tries to draw a couple of rounds of trumps. He sees the 4-1 break. He plays a heart, and here the play stops. But it says he makes 9 tricks. Now what's happening here is that Zia wins the ace of heart in hand, and he will continue setting up the spades. Frank Milton will take the ace of spades, and he will play a trump to dummy's ace. But then when the good spades are played from dummy, whenever Frank Milton roughs with his master trump, he has to lead a heart away from queen 1 into Zia's hand. So Zia will make 9 tricks here for 100 to east-west. It's not unusual at all that the Vugraph operator can't follow the play to the end. They might have been sitting there for hours, they're very tired, and by nature they're not as good as the players at the table. Now the players at the table very often knows exactly what's going on with a few cards left, so everything might happen at lightning speed. So we shouldn't blame the Vugraph operators for not being able to keep up. They're still doing an amazing job. So let's see what happened at the other table on this board. So here we have for Gupta, we had Cedric Lorenzini in the east seat, playing with Geir Helgemo in the west seat. And we have as north-south for Zimmerman, we have Bus Driver in the north seat and Stuart Brink in the south seat. Now they put in S Driver for north here, which will undoubtedly confuse me throughout the set. Cedric also opens 3 clubs. Stuart also comes in with 3 hearts. Geir bids the same 3-no trumps. But here we have a different bid from North. North bids 4 diamonds, which is alerted presumably by himself on his side of the screen. East passes, and Stewart bids his other 5-card suit 5 diamonds, and he is being put back to 5 hearts. So something has gone wrong here. North's 4 diamonds may have been asking partner to choose between the majors, so suggesting a semi-support in hearts and some spades. When South bid 5 diamonds, North may have feared a misunderstanding and puts him back to 5 hearts. It's good to see, I think, that one of the absolute best pairs in the world have an accident like this, because if they can have one, then maybe the rest of us can be forgiven for having the odd accident as well. So Stewart stops bidding his South, and Geir, who hasn't quite cottoned on to what's been going on here, does not double the final contract. So it's 5 hearts undouble. And here Geir shifts to a diamond trick to, I'm assuming he is trying to knock out the entries to Dummy's spade suit before that becomes good. Now, of course, we don't know what kind of information Geir has received here. He may not be aware at all that there has been a major misunderstanding. Stewart, of course, doesn't bother with a heart finesse. He's had a 3-no trump call on his left. But he will be quite relieved when trumps turn up breaking 3-3, because now he will make at least a few tricks more. Geir continues the diamonds. So does Stewart, and he sets up a diamond trick, and from here he will make a good diamond and his 2 trumps for a trick. So he will go 3 off in 5 hearts undoubles. So that's 300 to Gupta here, and only 100 at the other tables. That's 5 imps to Team Gupta, who at this point stretches their small lead to 30 imps to 15. And we're going to skip a couple of boards and move on to board 6, and the score at this point is 32 imps to Gupta and 15 to Zimmerman. We have Cedric Lorenzini in the east seat. He's dealt, he's vulnerable against Knot, and he's got 5-5 in the minus with a 10 count, but a reasonable 10 count. And Cedric is not known as one of the game's great passers, so he opens a diamond. Stewart passes, and Geir responds a spade, of course. And we look at North's hand. Best driver has got a very interesting hand, 7-4 to Knot, with a long heart suit. What might he be thinking here? He could overcall something like 2 hearts, 3 hearts, maybe 4 hearts. Well, when we preempt and push the opponents to bid at a very high level, it's attractive to have some nasty surprises for them. If we were only 7-2-2-2, then we're not going to do much damage if they bid again. So this hand is very attractive to bid high on. You got spades stacked over the guy on your right who bid spades. You got a void in the suit open on your left, so partner probably has a bunch of those. And if they end up doubling you in a hard contract, then maybe their defensive values, such as Ace King of Diamonds, might be disappointed that they don't stand up. So on this particular hand, I would find it very attractive to bid as high as I dare. Let's see what Best Driver thinks. Yeah, so he comes in with 4 hearts. Also likes bidding high with this kind of hand. And that goes pass and pass from South. And Geir makes a card showing double. And that comes back to Cedric. Now he has another 5-card suit, which he hasn't shown. And he is still vulnerable against Knot, so there's a chance of making a game. Against that, his club suit is rather manky, and he seems to have rather good defense with a singleton spade on lead. I think I might be leaning towards a pass on that hand, but Cedric, like I said, is not known for his passing, so he bids 5 clubs. That goes pass, pass, and Bass, who has pushed the opponent up very high. He tries a bit of a Lightner double. He is hoping that the double will attract the diamond lead, which he can ruff. Now that in itself may not beat 5 clubs, but he does have ace king of spades on the side, and he knows that the best chance of beating 5 clubs is certainly that they start with a diamond ruff. So that concludes the auction, and I imagine in a strong partnership like this, Stewart will have no trouble finding the diamond lead. There it is. North says thank you and ruffs. Now cashes the king of spades, demanding the partner gives him count in the spade suit. So now he knows there are no more spades cashing, and he will try a heart. Cedric wins and plays a club. When the 9 comes, it wouldn't cost him to put the 10 in from dummy. He's got a club loser regardless. But he might figure that if South had king, queen, 9 of clubs, he would have doubled 5 clubs himself, not leaving it to North. So the ace goes up, dropping the queen. He loses a club, but he goes 1 off in 5 clubs, doubled vulnerable. Let's check out the other table. Here we have Pierre Zimmerman, and he also opens a diamond in the east seat. Goes pass. Frank bids a spade, of course. And we see that Jeff Meckstroff has the same idea about the North hand. He wants to bid very high with this kind of interesting hand. And it goes pass, pass back to Frank Milton, who makes the same value showing double as West. And Pierre has the same decision as Cedric had at the other table. Now, if you ask me, I got ace-10 in the opponent's suit. I got the singleton in partner suit, so I know I can lead that. I can win the ace of trumps. I can try to get partner in, get the ruff. It looks like a very defensive hand, so I'm in Pierre's camp here. He goes for the penalties of 4 hearts rather than risking 5 clubs. But 4 hearts is quite tight. They can't afford to mess up the defense here, actually. Jeff wins the spades, tries to jack of hearts. Now Zimmerman actually has to pop up with the ace of hearts here, otherwise they're not going to beat anything. And he does so. Now he needs to get partner in for his spade ruff. He probably doesn't want to play diamonds away from ace queen, so he's going to try club. It's important though that he tells partner that he doesn't have the queen of clubs, so that partner from some ace jack holding tries to win the jack over dummy king 1. So a highish club here would be recommended. He plays the 6 of club. I think the 8 would have been even clearer. So now Frank Milton has to work out the partner hasn't got the queen of clubs, that he has to rise with the ace and give partner the spade ruff. And he finds that. And now they ruff away the ace of spades, and they will eventually come to 1 more spade trick for 1 off in 4 hearts double. So they collect 100 at this table. To go with 200 at the other table, they pick up 7 imps. And they go up to 22 imps against Gupta's 32 imps. And again we're jumping a board or 2 and we go to board 11, and at this point there's only 5 imps in it, 32, 27 to Gupta. We have Zia in the south seat as dealer. He opens a diamond, of course, with his lovely suit and nice hand. And Frank Milton is in the west seat. He's got a not very strong hand, but he has 6-5 in the majors. He could show both majors with 2 diamonds. He could overcall a spade. He might be inclined to preempt even. He hasn't got that much defense. Okay, so Frank elects 2 diamonds, showing both majors, and Jeff Meckstroff now has an interesting bid as North. He would probably expect the opponents to be bidding a lot of spades very soon, so he might be keen to show his clubs, where his side could after all have a very high contract on if partner has a fitting hand. So he elects 2 hearts. Now this is not natural, it doesn't show hearts, it shows clubs. Now whether it is their stronger or weaker way of showing clubs, I don't know. Zimmerman in the east seat has probably enough to compete with 2 spades. He's got 3 spades, a roughing value and an ace. But he elects to go quiet. Zia doesn't want anything to do with clubs, so he rebids its nice diamond suit, and that silences everyone. So nice quiet bidding to 3 diamonds. where Zia will probably make easily. He's got 6 diamonds, ace of spades is 7, ace king of hearts is 9, barring accidents. Let's see how the play goes. Zia gets a spade lead. He throws a heart from dummy and wins in hand. He's going to try trump straight away. Okay, he plays his singleton jack of clubs. Now the upside with this play is that he found out that West was voiding clubs, and therefore trumps, diamonds, are very likely to break free too. Singleton 9, shift from east, is just going to help declare with dummy's heart suit. And now comes a number of trumps. And now of course he has about 10 tricks by the heart finesse, and he will just try to put a little bit of pressure on Frank Milton in the West seat by taking a few extra trumps. Unfortunately he gets rid of the bear card, the 7 of diamonds, but come to think of it, I'm not sure I've ever seen Zia drink beer. I've seen him drink champagne though, but I don't know if that's included in the 7 of diamonds. Heart to the 8. Now he's trying to M-play Frank here, but Frank throws a heart away, so Frank will score 2 spade tricks and have to give the last trick to dummy's king of hearts, and that is 10 tricks to Zia. It's easy 130 in this room. Let's see what happens in the other room. Stuart of course opens a diamond as well, but Geir has a different idea with the West card. He doesn't like the low defensive value of his hand, and he prefers to bid very high and hope to disturb the opponent's auction. So 4 spades in from Helgamo. I'm sure that Buzz Driver in the north seat is very keen to try and find a suit. He's got 6-5-2 with a void in the opponent's suit, and here he tries 4-no trumps. Now 4-no trumps is never blackfoot for diamonds here. First you have to find a suit to play in before you worry about aces. So 4-no trumps here suggests 2 places to play, and he's hoping to be able to indicate clubs and hearts. Now, as I said before, Cedric is not necessarily known as one of the game's great passers, and here he volunteers 5 clubs. Now he intends this of course as being prepared to play in 5 spades and showing where his defensive trick is in case the opponents do any further bidding. This is often a clever bid if a partner understands it, but of course what can happen is this: a partner doesn't have a clue what's going on. So Geir passes 5 clubs, and Buzz has a decision in the pass-out seat. Now, it would be fair to say he's quite confident about beating 5 clubs. The question is, how much does 5 clubs cost if he just leaves it, and how much can he get when the opponents run out to 5 spades? Well, let's start with 5 clubs. You're taking 50s, and usually with this hand you expect around 250 or 300 in 50s. But what would he get from 5 spades? Now he knows that Lorenzini would run to 5 spades, and he knows that Lorenzini volunteered to play on the 5 level, so maybe 5 spades doesn't cost that much. Possibly, it could even be close to making. So I have to say I agree with Buzz here when he takes his certain income and he passes out 5 clubs. This contract of course has no play, but it does pay for the defense to pay some attention to what's going on, because say that the result at the other table is something like 300 from a double spade contract, then if you get sloppy here and only take 250 rather than say 350, you've actually cost your side 4 imps. So they should be awake. Of course Stuart doesn't yet know exactly what's going on the hand. He just forces Declare here with a 4th round of diamonds, and Cedric doesn't mind. He's scoring his small clubs, which is what he's hoping to do. He scored a 2 and a 3 of clubs, which is good for him. Stuart makes his singleton joke of clubs, which he's happy about. And now North is going to get end played a couple of times, having to lead clubs away from his hand. And all this is going to end up in Cedric making 5 tricks. So he goes 6 off undoubled. That is 300 to north-south. And at the other table, Zia made 10 tricks in 3 diamonds. That was only 130 to north-south. So that is 5 imps to Zimmerman, who are now tying the match. And we have skipped a couple more boards, and we're coming to board 13 of this middle set, 20 board set. And at this point, Zimmerman has taken the lead. They're up by 39 to 32. Jeff Meckstroff has dealt. He's got 5-4 in the majors, but only a 9 count. Not an opening bid for him. East doesn't have a bid for his 6-4 in the red suit, so Zia gets to open 1 trump in the south seat. And Frank Moltonov calls 2 spades, which is alerted. I'm fairly certain that's because it's spades and a minor. Now Jeff Meckstroff, if he knew that partner would double 2 spades for takeout, he might consider going for a penalty. But he doesn't know that for sure, so he will just show his hearts and get his side to a game. 3 diamonds here is a transfer to heart. Rather useful convention. Now East gets to show some diamond values, presumably with his double of 3 diamonds. And Zia's got heart support, only ace to 3, not massive support, but he's got nothing wasted in spades, which was bid on his left. He's got king 1 of diamonds over the diamond values on his right, and he's got a nice source of tricks in clubs. So Zia does what Zia does. He bids 4 hearts. And that goes pass back to Zimmerman, who has a little bit of a trump holding as well. He's got a partner over called vulnerable. He's indicated the diamond lead. He's got trumps. And he's got the singleton spade, which he can play a trick too. So there are some attractive features in his hand. And he elects to double Zia in 4 hearts. Frank leads the indicated 10 of diamonds. And one of Pierre's defensive tactics here is to play a forcing game because he's long in trumps. So he decides to just let the 10 of diamonds run, which means that his diamonds are now good to play from the top if he gets in. Zia doesn't like this much. He elects, because he doesn't know diamonds are 6-2 yet, he elects to play a diamond back, hoping to score a diamond ruff in hand. So diamond to the jack. Pierre wins this with the queen. And now switches to his singleton spade. He's opening up for his own spade ruff. He's hoping now that Zia will try to ruff a diamond in hand, and the partner can do something about that. So nice little false card with ace of diamonds. Zia does try to ruff, and he gets over ruffed by the singleton 10. Zia knows this is the singleton 10, so he doesn't like this one bit. And here comes queen of spades and the spade ruff. And that's 4 tricks to East West already. They will now score a trump trick and take 500 from 4 hearts doubled. And we're going straight over to the other table to see what happens here, where in fact we have an identical auction. So that's a no trump from Schuett. Gay bids 2 spades, spades and a minor. 3 diamonds from North is a transfer. Cedric doubles. Schuett makes the same slight overbid of 4 hearts. And Cedric doubles the final contract. So same auction to the same contract. And indeed the same lead, the 10 of diamonds from Geir. But there are some differences in the play. Cedric here decides to win the ace of diamonds on the first go and play a diamond back. He's maybe hoping that partner has a singleton diamond. This doesn't change the play as such. He can still force declare with diamonds when he gets in. But now Schuett has a very interesting decision. He doesn't like it much, like Zia didn't at the first table. But he makes here an outstanding play. He decides that spades has to be touched at some point, so he starts with a spade. Geir splits from his king queen and he wins the ace in dummy. Now the reason he wanted to get into dummy is because he wants to start the trumps from dummy. By doing this, he puts pressure on the trump holding in the East hand. And I wrote an article on this a couple of years ago where I named this kind of double a suicide double, because what happens often in the play is that the declarer who knows where the trumps are can put enormous pressure on those trump holdings by making certain plays. So now when Stewart leads the 2 of hearts from dummy, Cedric has a nasty problem. He doesn't want to play low and let Stewart score the 10 of hearts, say from ace-10 1 or even ace-10 to 4. Then East will lose all the power that his 4-card trump holding has. And he knows he's exposed himself in the auction, so he does decide to split with his hearts. And when Stewart wins the ace and partner's 10 drops, he knows he's been had, and East is now just feeling sick as a parrot. Take nothing away from Stewart though. Going to dummy and playing the first heart from dummy is a super play. It's not all over yet though. Stewart now runs the 8 of hearts, trying to give Cedric his trump trick, and it doesn't help Cedric to play low, so he wins it, and in fact he can't do anything to beat the hand any longer. He elects to force a trump from the south hand by leading Queen of Diamonds, and Stewart still has to be a little bit careful, but having come this far, he's not about to blow it now. He's got to count, especially on the west hand. He's seen 2 diamonds and a singleton heart, so he knows west is 5-5 in the black suits. So for example, taking ace-king of clubs here before he tries to get to dummy doesn't work. He will promote East's 7 of hearts. So Stewart carefully cashes the ace of clubs and roughs a club low. Now, of course, he can draw both trumps, and all he will lose from here is the king of spades to Gare. This is an outstanding declare play from Stewart. This gives the Zimmerman team 15 imps, so they now pull away to 54 to 32, 22 imps. And in fact, not that much happens at during the rest of the set. So the Zimmerman team finishes the second set of the final 71 to 43 up, that's 28 imps. And in the last 20 boards, not that much is going on either. So in fact, Zimmerman wins the European winter teams by about 30 imps after 60 boards. I hope you've enjoyed this little broadcast. I will be back soon with more great picks from the Vugraph archives. Until then, have a good game.